The life and legacy of Shirley Caesar, often celebrated as one of gospel music's most influential voices, is frequently told through both triumph and trial. Widely known as the Queen of Gospel, her decades-long career has included powerful performances, church leadership, and recognition that spans generations. Yet alongside the public image of success and spiritual impact, narratives about her life often emphasize a deeper emotional undercurrent, shaped by personal hardship, endurance, and faith. These accounts describe a woman whose voice became a vessel for both praise and pain, carrying messages that resonated with audiences far beyond the church walls. While she is honored for her musical achievements, including numerous awards and historic performances, stories about her journey also highlight the emotional weight that can accompany long-term devotion to family, ministry, and public life. In this retelling, her life is viewed not only as a series of accomplishments but also as a reflection of resilience in the face of human struggle. The following sections explore a structured narrative of her journey, from early beginnings and family influences to career breakthroughs, personal relationships, and the solitude often associated with long-lived public figures. It is a story shaped by faith, sacrifice, and the complexities of a life lived in both spotlight and reflection. Early life and Durham roots. Shirley Caesar's early life is often described as beginning in Durham, North Carolina, a setting that shaped much of her identity and musical foundation. Born into a large family in the late 1930s, her upbringing is frequently portrayed as modest and grounded in both economic struggle and strong spiritual tradition. Durham during that era was a place marked by working-class resilience, where church life played a central role in community connection and emotional support. Within this environment, music was not simply entertainment but a form of expression, worship, and survival. According to many retellings, her early exposure to gospel singing came through family gatherings and church services, where voices carried stories of hope and endurance. Her father is often described as a strong musical influence, while her mother provided stability within a demanding household. These early surroundings helped shape her emotional depth and vocal intensity, qualities that would later define her career. Even as a child, she is portrayed as showing an unusual ability to connect music with feeling, often using song as a way to express experiences beyond her years. This foundation in Durham became the starting point for a lifelong journey rooted in faith, discipline, and an evolving sense of purpose. Childhood hardship and family responsibilities. Many narratives about Shirley Caesar's childhood emphasize the challenges and responsibilities she carried at an early age. Growing up in a large household meant shared resources, limited space, and constant demands on each family member. In these retellings, hardship is often described not only in financial terms but also in emotional and physical strain. She is frequently portrayed as assuming responsibilities beyond her years, especially as family circumstances shifted over time. The household dynamic required cooperation and resilience, and older children were often expected to contribute to caregiving and daily survival. Within this environment, church and music became outlets of comfort and expression, offering stability in an otherwise difficult setting. Some accounts also describe moments of personal loss within her family structure, shaping her early understanding of grief and endurance. These experiences are often connected to the emotional power behind her later singing style, which is known for its depth and intensity. The narrative suggests that her sense of duty was formed early, influencing not only her personal life but also her approach to ministry and performance. As a result, her childhood is remembered as a period that combined struggle, responsibility, and the gradual formation of a resilient spiritual identity. Rise in gospel music and early career. Shirley Caesar's entry into professional gospel music is often described as a turning point that transformed her from a local church singer into a nationally recognized voice. One of the most significant steps in her early career was her involvement with the Caravans, a well-known gospel group that helped launch several influential artists. Joining such a group provided opportunities for touring, recording, and performing on larger stages, expanding her reach beyond her hometown. However, many retellings emphasize that this period was also marked by difficult choices, particularly regarding family responsibilities and career advancement. While the gospel industry offered recognition and mobility, personal obligations often influenced the direction of her decisions. Her voice quickly gained attention for its emotional strength, dynamic range, and ability to convey spiritual conviction. Audiences responded to her performances with admiration, and her reputation grew steadily within gospel circles. During this time, she developed a style that blended traditional gospel roots with a powerful personal delivery, making her stand out among her peers. This stage of her life is often viewed as the foundation of her long-standing career, establishing her as a significant figure in gospel music history, while also setting the stage for future sacrifices and commitments. Sacrifice and caregiving decisions. A recurring theme in stories about Shirley Caesar's life is the idea of sacrifice, particularly in relation to family caregiving. As her career began to expand, she is often portrayed as facing decisions that required balancing professional opportunities with personal responsibilities. In many narratives, she chose to prioritize family needs, especially when health concerns or household obligations arose. These decisions sometimes meant postponing tours, declining opportunities, or adjusting her career path to remain present at home. The emotional weight of caregiving is frequently highlighted as a defining aspect of her early adulthood, shaping both her personal development and professional trajectory. Financial and emotional pressures are described as part of this experience, as she navigated the demands of supporting family members while maintaining her growing musical career. Despite these challenges, her commitment to gospel music remained strong, and she continued to perform whenever possible. This period is often interpreted as one in which her identity as both a caregiver and artist became deeply intertwined. The narrative suggests that these sacrifices contributed to the emotional authenticity of her music, allowing her performances to resonate with audiences who recognize similar struggles in their own lives. Breakthrough, faith, and career expansion. As Shirley Caesar's career progressed, she became widely recognized as a leading figure in gospel music, known for her powerful voice and spiritual intensity. Her breakthrough is often described as the moment when her talent reached a national and international audience, solidifying her reputation as a gospel icon. During this phase, she released influential recordings, performed in major venues, and became associated with a distinctive preaching-singing style that blended ministry with music. Her faith remained central to her identity, guiding her artistic decisions and public message. Many accounts highlight how she used her platform not only for entertainment, but also for spiritual encouragement, often delivering messages of hope, perseverance, and devotion. As her influence expanded, she received numerous honors and awards, reflecting her impact on both religious and musical communities. This period also marked a deepening of her role as a pastor and minister, further connecting her public performances with her spiritual mission. Despite increasing fame, narratives often emphasize that she remained grounded in her faith and committed to service. Her career expansion is therefore seen not only as professional success but also as an extension of her ministry and personal convictions. Marriage to Bishop Harold Williams. In many accounts of Shirley Caesar's life, her marriage to Bishop Harold Williams is described as a significant emotional and spiritual partnership that began later in her life. Their relationship is often portrayed as one built on shared faith, mutual respect, and a deep understanding of ministry work. According to these narratives, the couple met through church connections and developed a bond rooted in prayer, conversation, and companionship. Their marriage is frequently depicted as a source of comfort and stability after years of personal sacrifice and public responsibility. Harold Williams is described as a supportive presence who shared her dedication to spiritual leadership while also bringing his own pastoral experience into their life together. Together, they are often portrayed as a ministry-focused couple who balanced public service with private moments of peace and reflection. Their union is remembered as both loving and spiritually aligned, offering Shirley a renewed sense of personal fulfillment. However, as with many long-term relationships, their shared journey is also framed within later narratives of challenge and emotional complexity. This period of her life is seen as a meaningful chapter, defined by companionship, faith, and shared purpose, joy, loss, and miscarriage narrative. Some retellings of Shirley Caesar's personal life include deeply emotional experiences involving marriage and family hopes. In these narratives, her marriage is described as a period of joy and renewed possibility, particularly surrounding the anticipation of starting a family. The story often highlights moments of happiness, shared planning, and emotional bonding between her and her husband. However, this joy is also described as being accompanied by profound loss, particularly in relation to a miscarriage that is portrayed as a deeply painful experience. This event is frequently framed as a turning point that introduced sorrow into an otherwise hopeful chapter of life. The emotional impact is described as long-lasting, affecting both personal well-being and spiritual reflection. Within these accounts, faith is often presented as a source of strength during grief, helping her navigate feelings of disappointment and loss. The narrative suggests that such experiences contributed to the emotional depth found in her later ministry and musical expression. While deeply personal, this chapter is often included in broader stories of her life to illustrate the intersection of joy and sorrow within human experience. Bereavement and legal struggles. Later narratives about Shirley Caesar's life often focus on a period marked by bereavement and complex family challenges following the passing of her husband. These accounts describe a time of emotional difficulty, as she adjusted to life without a long-term partner and continued her ministry work. In some retellings, additional tension is introduced through legal disputes involving family members, which are portrayed as emotionally taxing and deeply personal. These situations are often framed as conflicts over inheritance, legacy, or family responsibility, adding strain during an already vulnerable period. Despite these challenges, she is frequently described as maintaining dignity and composure, choosing to focus on faith and service rather than public confrontation. The emotional toll of such experiences is often highlighted as significant, shaping her sense of isolation and reflection in later years. At the same time, these narratives emphasize her continued commitment to church work and community outreach, suggesting that her identity remained rooted in ministry even during periods of personal difficulty. This chapter of her life is therefore presented as one of endurance, where faith and resilience coexist with grief and interpersonal struggle. Later years, ministry, and isolation. In her later years, Shirley Caesar is often portrayed as continuing her ministry while also experiencing increasing solitude. Many narratives describe her as residing in a quieter environment compared to the earlier stages of her public life, with fewer appearances and a more reflective daily routine. Despite reduced public visibility, she remains active in church-related work and charitable efforts, often focusing on community support and spiritual guidance. Her music continues to be a central part of her identity, serving as both personal expression and ministry tool. At the same time, stories about this period frequently emphasize themes of loneliness, particularly as family members and close companions are described as no longer present in the same way. This sense of isolation is often contrasted with her past life of large audiences and public recognition. Even so, she is portrayed as maintaining strong spiritual discipline, using prayer, music, and service as anchors in her daily life. Her later years are therefore characterized by a blend of continued purpose and quiet reflection, where public legacy and private experience intersect in meaningful but complex ways. Enduring faith and reflection. The overarching narrative of Shirley Caesar's life ultimately returns to themes of enduring faith and resilience. Across decades of music, ministry, personal sacrifice, and emotional complexity, she is consistently portrayed as a figure whose identity is deeply rooted in spirituality. Her story is often framed as one that reflects the human capacity to endure hardship while maintaining purpose and hope. Whether viewed through the lens of musical achievement or personal struggle, her life represents a journey shaped by conviction and perseverance. In reflection, her legacy is not only defined by awards or public recognition, but also by the emotional sincerity embedded in her performances and ministry. These accounts suggest that her voice carries the weight of lived experience, transforming personal challenges into expressions of faith and encouragement for others. Ultimately, her life is presented as a testament to the idea that strength and sorrow can coexist, and that purpose can be sustained even through profound change. Her enduring presence in gospel music and ministry continues to symbolize resilience, offering a lasting reflection on devotion, sacrifice, and spiritual endurance.